Now let's talk about URL structure. And the URL structure is what you see, right? The .com that you see up there in the search bar. It really has to be tied into what that page is all about. That's really vital, really important. I should be able to know what that page is about just by putting in the title of the URL. This way I understand it as a consumer before I even go further. So in my case, for my website, this is about who I am, right? So it's professorken.us/about Professor Ken. Pretty simple. You know, this page is going to tell you what I'm all about. That's easy. That's memorable. I can see that. That's what we want. So I can get there directly. If I punch in about Professor Ken or, you know, Professor Ken's bio or something like that, this page most likely will come up because I'm keywording it that way. So 3 tips for a good URL structure would be: make sure we use what we call speaking URLs. So people can see it and speak it easily and they know the page. There's some trust and familiarity there, right? We also want to avoid these complicated directory level things like /A/123/1A/2B. That's really complicated, and a lot of companies do that. We want to simplify it as much as possible so that we could give that out. In fact, there's a software that you can get that's for free. What they do is they shorten the URL, because sometimes we have these long URLs and it's just too long. So there's a system now, and I think it's called Bitly or something of that nature, and you just plug in your long URL and they make it a short URL, which is great because that's what you want. You want a short URL so people could get there easily. That's important. You also should avoid all these special characters in the URL. Just be straight and to the point. Use common language. In most cases, you want to be in English, unless you have a completely international site that you have an international language on. Then maybe there's a conversion there. In fact, I know some companies that do different language URLs, so it populates differently. So URL is important because it's going to tell you, it's the street address of that web page. And if we make it memorable, we make it simple, then I know how I can get there all the time. All right, let's talk about images and alt tags right now. So one thing to keep in mind is that Google is looking at everything. Google is looking at your pages, Google's looking at your optimization, Google's looking at your images. And your images also tell a story. Now, we talked about being ADA compliant in the past here and just a few minutes ago. So ADA compliance also means that your images have to explain what they are to someone maybe who can't see, right? If they scroll over the image, they have a device that reads the content on the website. Well, the image has to have some type of description that they can read. That's part of being ADA compliant as well. But for search engine optimization, you want every single opportunity you can to have Google say, hey, here's the answer to that question. And in this case, it's the image. So if you highlight the images of my website, you'll see an alt tag will come up. And basically, you highlight this image and it will tell you Professor Ken's workshops and seminars. So that really is not describing that particular image, but it's describing what that image turns into or leads into. So even in e-commerce, you need to put your tags on your images, because that's going to help when people search stuff. What do? Well, they search stuff and they go to shopping, they go to images, they're looking for something. That's really important. So let's make sure you're putting your tags on your images. This way people could understand what they are.